Hey real estate nerds, this is Alex Yoder with Pro Tip Tuesday, my favorite day of the week. And today I want to talk about expectations, specifically tenant expectations on a security deposit return. Tenant expectations on a security deposit return. The reason that we're talking about this today is that I commonly will get a question on the 59th day after a tenant has vacated saying, I better have my check by tomorrow, or where is my check? I better have my check by tomorrow. And I want to highlight something about sort of the actual reality of the requirement on landlords. Now let's go to the very start here and talk about the actual window. I've talked about in previous videos that we have a 30-day window to mail the security deposit reconciliation unless your lease says 60. So in Colorado, the default requirement is 30 days unless your lease says 60 days. So your lease should say 60 days. Now, again, that is to mail the deposit reconciliation. That is not for them to receive it. You will get those calls again on the 59th day and the 60th day saying, why don't I have my deposit check yet? And the answer, of course, is we're required to mail it, not for you to receive it. It's already in the mail. You'll get it in a couple of days. Now, one of the things that I don't recommend, and the reason that we will often wait till close to the end of that window, is that there are cases where you will find justified, reasonable charges that you didn't initially catch. And I use the example of the rubber ducky that I had about 10 years ago at one of my properties, where the new tenant moved in and the first day they were in there, the toilet backed up, and we had a $200 bill because there was a rubber ducky in the toilet and it caused a backup and a $200 bill. So now we've already returned the deposit. We've already done the reconciliation because we were trying to be good landlords, and we don't have any money to actually pay that bill. So we ended up eating that cost. And that's one of the reasons we don't recommend rushing that process. And so you're using up the window, and there are some cases where you're waiting for vendor bills or something like that. And again, you will get those phone calls. So setting the expectation is all about letting the tenant know that that's what the requirement is, and that's how you operate. So when the tenant is giving their notice to vacate, tell them that you'll return it within the 6-day window if your lease says that. And that you will mail it within the 60-day window if your lease says that. And then when they return their keys, tell them again that you will mail it within the 60-day window, that they will not receive it, but that you will mail it within the 6-day window. And then actually on the cover letter, the deposit reconciliation itself, with the check or with the deposit reconciliation, it says under FAQs on that page that you have 60 days to mail that reconciliation, not for them to receive it. Again, you're just repeating yourself over and over again, because you will have cases where a tenant will call you on the 61st day or 62nd day and think that they have a claim for treble damages. And even if they receive that on the 63rd day or something like that, they're going to think they have a case for it even if they have the check in front of them, because they think that you've missed your deadline. So make sure that you kind of just answer that question before they ask it and set that expectation to avoid sort of the argument and the drama that comes along with not setting up the expectations. Now, in terms of the 30 or the 6-day window, that is 30 days from the day that possession is returned or the last day of the lease, whichever occurs later. If there is a lease break, an abandonment, an eviction, the rules are a little different here in El Paso County, so you would want to get legal advice for that in that event. So I'm talking about specifically honored lease terms with proper notices to vacate. So that is all for today. We'll see you next week.